Hey healers, I wanted to talk to you guys about ascension today because I think it's a word that gets thrown around a lot, but it's like, what does it really mean? Essentially, ascension is elevation. It's elevating. And one of the ways that you do this is by releasing baggage. It's like that quote says, if you want to fly, you got to give up the shit that weighs you down. It's some things you just got to drop off, because you can't carry them to the heights that you're going to. Okay? Because you won't be able to soar that high if you've got that baggage weighing you down. So you might not even know what the baggage is. Like, our minds are so good at protecting us that sometimes the source of the issue is completely forgotten. It's completely buried. This is where remembering comes in, and remembering is not an easy thing. There's a reason why you repress your memories. So if they've been buried and repressed, the reason why is because they were traumatic. They're hard to remember. There's parts of you that don't want to remember them. You can see how much I'm fidgeting just making this video. There's a lot of remembering that I've been doing, you guys, since I've been doing this work, and especially in the past month since I filmed certain YouTube video talking about the actual basis of society. And, you know, earlier this year when I did 22 days of the healing mind control ritual, I unearthed a lot of things that I had repressed and that I had buried. And I never ask you guys to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. So, like, when it comes to the ascension process, you have to dig into what hurts you and why. Because it's still in your body, and sometimes it might be unexpected. Like you might think that, like, you have womb trauma from sexual experiences or from childbirth, but you might not know the other elements of trauma that are in there. They could have come from your mother. They could have come from a friend, a betrayal, and that's where they got stored in the body. So these issues create illness and dysfunction in the body. Our mind can't handle them. We don't have any way to process the emotions. We repress, and it goes into a part of the body that is where it's held for our own sake, so that we can survive. Okay? Because, like, if our mind shuts down, we're not going to be able to mentally make the moves that we need to make. If our emotions are too erratic, we're not going to be able to survive, you know, like, receiving the things that we need as humans to survive. So the body, as the book title says, the body keeps the score. The body holds those memories. The body is the one that suffers. And you can see that it's a generational curse of illness in a lot of our families, that the same illnesses that affect your mother is the ones that you are at risk for. The same illnesses that affect your grandmother, your mother is at risk for. So it's a lot deeper than just genetics and health, you know. It goes into nurturing, conditioning, life experiences, what's normalized. And if you want to fly, you got to give up that shit that weighs you down. If there's things that happen generation after generation and they never stop, and they just keep happening, what's going to be different this time? You have to do something different than the previous generations did. Often it takes extreme measures that most people are just not willing to do. But what about you? You just have to be willing. And you just have to be willing to say that this is what you want. And you just have to be willing to ask for help. What is that shadow? Sorry. You just have to be willing to ask for help. Okay, there's people that can help. If not me, somebody else. you'll feel different in your body when you clear a persistent emotional issue that's causing you to carry unwanted emotional baggage. You will feel different. Your spine will lengthen. Your hips will open. You'll get taller. You used to walk around hunched over. You won't walk around hunched over no more. These are persistent issues that you're clearing out of the body. Ascension is not just like, I'm just going to sit here silently in meditation until I float away. Like, you are in the mud. You are in that shit. You are crying on your bathroom floor at 4 a.m. because you just remembered how your friend in high school hurt you so bad to the point that you never wanted to make friends with anybody else again, and you were always on your guard from then on. Or how much it hurt when your dad didn't come home. There's endless experiences of trauma that we've had, and everybody constantly says, you should just get over it. It's no big deal. It happened a long time ago. They're reflecting their own inability to hold space for themselves. Most people can't hold space for other people. They can't even hold space for themselves. They're horrible at it. It don't matter if they're in a position of leadership, they're a teacher. They could even be a fucking therapist. Like, people, I mean, even a healer. Like, people are extremely ill-equipped to hold space for other people and themselves. The society is constantly turning you away from it. There's always something more important. There's always something more interesting. I had to look at my own shadows and how much I have been ignoring them when I'm the queen of shadow work. But I still have shadows that are too scary for me to dig into. But this is the necessary alchemy of the ascension process. You use those shadows and you use that trauma to create gold with. And the gold is a travel conductor. It's an intergalactic travel conductor. Ancient Egyptians used to wear gold shoes, walk on a gold floor, and create electricity that they could use to travel interdimensionally. So they don't want us to know about that. Okay. A lot of these things, like, I learned things from being on drugs and from other people that were on drugs. These things came out, and from being crazy and hallucinating, these things came out. We weren't supposed to know them. We were supposed to think that it wasn't possible, that it was crazy. This is part of the ascension process. So whatever your process for ascension is, it's valid. If it's drug use, if it's been traveling, whatever you've done, like friendship, sex, whatever you've done to alchemize your emotions and to access inner reserves of your energy is valid. You don't have to be this freaking perfect Tibetan monk or Buddhist nun. You don't. You are the vessel of spirit as you are. If there's one thing I can impress upon you, it's that. And I feel so I feel like I can't stress this enough, because even within my position as a spiritual leader and spiritual guide, it doesn't matter how much I tell you guys that, like, you are holy as you are. People sometimes still want to project onto me that, like, oh, she would be disappointed in me if she knew, or she wouldn't like me if she knew this. But it's like, please understand that that's really a projection. You don't know me. You don't know my life. You don't know, like, what I'm into or who I have around me. I don't really show you guys that much of my life, as much as I might share personal stories and stuff. But when it comes to, like, how I live, like, I'm not some perfect person. Like, I'm not always fasting and praying and meditating. Like, I'm really real. I really live a real life, and you can too. This is what ascension is all about. It's not being some fake ass light worker. It's for you, as you are, all that you are, and that's all that you need. So I hope this helps somebody today on your journey. If it resonates, let me know. Okay, it's a two-way It's a multi-way communication street, so don't let it just be me talking at you. Say something back. I need that reciprocity, okay? Don't be in here just taking and trying to suck up my energy. Give me some energy back, okay? Peace.